Race number 8 it is first, and we've got Sweet Encounter carrying an extra £3 for his last start win over the 1800. Comes back in trip. Viva Chaleur wide draw again. Find My Love missed the start last time. Bonza Perla goes up in trip to the 1600. Ivy League blinkers off. The Shadow Roll goes on. Majestic Colour and also Thesis both wear a tongue tie for the first time. Gallant Waking comes back to Sha Tin. We've got Drombeg Benner going up from the 12 to the 1600. Never raced beyond 1200 in Ireland or here in Hong Kong. And down the bottom, Publicist has the blinkers and the tongue tie both being removed. So as Paul said, Nick, it is really a prelude for the 4-year-old series, this race, but there might not be too much speed on in it.
No, look, I don't think there will be, actually. And look, Sweet Encounter, obviously an interesting runner. He's drawn well, and he has been prominent in a few races so far. So I think it's up for grabs, this lead. And given that he's in gate 2, I think it might well go the way of him. Publicist could show a bit of speed. Also, you've got Majestic Colour, who wasn't too far away on his debut, Paul. I think he might get a nice slipstream into this race, given that he's drawn 4.
Yeah, exactly. And Drombeg Banner is right up in trip as well. So he's another one with a bit of pace that can go forward. Publicist with the blinkers on, as you say, I think he can go forward as well. Find My Love, he missed the start last time, so he'll try and slot in their midfield. And Gallant Waking, who we've seen so well at Happy Valley, he's coming here to Sha Tin, but he gets back anyway.
No chance of seeing Find My Love ridden further forward if he jumps better, do you think?
It's a possibility as well. I mean, I think they'll try and find cover whatever happens. They won't want to be wide.
All right, so that is a look at the speed map for race number 8. But the likely favourite is going to be Sweet Encounter. Tom was at track work out at Sha Tin yesterday to catch up with his rider, Zach Purton.
Zach, Sweet Encounter, a horse that you've jumped aboard twice now for 2 wins. How have you rated those last couple of performances?
Yeah, they've both been good. You know, he's got a good style. He gets up there on the speed, keeps himself out of trouble, and I think they've been soft wins.
Those last couple of wins off the back of when he was defeated 3 back, could that have been a blessing in disguise for a horse like him to sort of get that experience of having to get through between runners and learn a lot through that?
Possibly. You don't want him to make a habit of it, though. He's not the most straightforward horse in the gate, so I'd prefer him to continue to jump well and just keep doing everything right.
He's drawn 2. Is it a case of just letting him jump and find his feet and get him into a rhythm where he's comfortable?
Yeah, I'm not sure. John might want him to lead, so if that's the case, then I'll be pushing to try and lead. But if he tells me otherwise, then I'll do what I'm told.
He's trolled up on the all-weather the other week. Happy with what he did there?
Yeah, you know, it's just a matter of keeping him ticking over, really. Just kept him out of trouble and let him roll around.
Of the smorgasbord of options you've got for the 4-year-old series, at this point, where does sort of Sweet Encounter stack up against the likes of Beauty Verse and also Packing Treadmill, who was impressive again?
Well, he doesn't have the rating of those horses at the moment, but you know, he's lightly raced and he's still on the way up, so he's got to prove himself again on the weekend.
Zach Purton there on Sweet Encounter, Nick, and as we have a look at his graphic card on screen right now, he's just a horse that has done a great job from the word go here. He
absolutely has, Mark, and look, arguably there'd be many out there that would argue that he probably should be unbeaten. He was desperately unlucky, Paul, when he was defeated 3 starts ago behind Stunning Impact, but since then he's looked very impressive.
He has, hasn't he? And look, he's going to get the race run to suit as well, I think, from a low draw with not too much pace in the race. Just the query I have is he's got to carry 135 and see if he can carry that, no problem.
That is Sweet Encounter. We're going to stick with the interviews now. We've heard from the jockey of the 1 horse, the trainer of the 2 horse, Viva Chaleur, is Casper Founds. Here he is with Tom.
Speaking of races that have been put on, Viva Chaleur going around in the restricted race for the 4-year-olds. You must have been delighted with how he finished off his second start.
Yeah, he's a very progressive horse. He's still a little bit on the chewy. He wants to jump and get on with things. You know, he hasn't really understood what we're asking of him, but once he starts to drop the bit and be a bit more relaxed in his races, we'll see a horse with definitely in triple figures.
Were you worried about him at all second up, considering what happened first up, if that was going to knock his confidence at all?
No, I don't think so. He's tough. He's a mentally strong horse. You know, he's still a bull. He's got a great temperament, so we've kept him intact at this stage. And, you know, obviously we're stepping up. He hasn't been at this trip ever. So he's drawn 11. We'll just be snagging him and switching him off, and hopefully he'll work with Huey and give us a chance to see him hit the line strong.
Quick comment as well on Packing Hurricane, who's got barrier 1 with only 115 pounds on his back.
Yeah, again, a horse, you know, he's slowly getting there, but will probably be about 3-4 runs away before he starts to be competitive.
Casper Founds there on his couple of runners in race number 8. Our first replay, Nick, features Majestic Colour. This was his debut in Hong Kong. Had a nice run, but kept on well down the straight.
He absolutely did, yeah, really encouraging run this. I think what could be key to him this time around second up, he's sporting a tongue tie for the first time as well, and that can help horses plenty. But I like the way he's kept on here. The other horse that Casper was mentioning there, Packing Hurricane, he's also out of this race a little bit further back. But I thought this was a very encouraging local debut, Paul.
Yeah, good debut. They're going to put the tongue tie on as well for the second start coming into this. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 4. Sha Tin will be aboard. So look, he's going to get his opportunity. We'll see if he can step up.
The horse that beat him, Marado Flying, and there was a stack of money for Winner Method that ran second. Find My Love, Paul. What we don't see in this replay is he made a mess of the start, recovers to run 6th. You were big on him this day. Do we go again this week?
I think he's going to be a big price once again. So yeah, I'm happy to go with him. He's by Frankel, this horse. The further the better leading into the 4-year-old series for him. He's had 2 runs now, so he'll be right at his fitness. Again, you know, he had this little problem where he did miss the start, but he's going to be a big price, so I'm happy to find out.
Yeah, and he was a handy horse when trained overseas as well, so he's certainly got the ability. Wouldn't shock to see him bring it to the races here.
Packing Treadmill, the winner of that race. Now, Bonza Perla, Nick, this was her debut over 1400. She has placed over a mile in the Group 1 Australian Guineas at Flemington and the Group 3 Alexandra Stakes at Moonee Valley. So the step up in trip, no problem.
Absolutely, and she's got the class mark, as you've alluded to, and she's come from a fair way back on this occasion as well. So, look, she clearly has come through all of her preparation for this debut nicely, and look, she's run a very eye-catching race, Paul, to suggest that next time might be the time to get on her, and she has £4 less to carry, which can't be a bad thing.
No, and she hit the line strongly, didn't she? Super Sunny Singh's come out and won again since as well, so that's franked that form.
That is Bonza Perla. Next up, Paul, we head to Gallant Waking over at Happy Valley. He showed plenty as a young horse, but since they've given him that snip, he's certainly gone to another level.
Hasn't he? He's had a really good season to date, with plenty of wins this season as well. Look, he's got a good turn of foot, this horse. If the pace is on, it's really going to suit him. I'm going to include him because I don't think he's the worst in this race, and he's already proven that he's acclimatised well in Hong Kong, and he's had 10 starts.
Yeah, he's a nice horse, and look, 0 from 3 here at Sha Tin probably doesn't tell the full story because, as you mentioned, Mark, he was still a colt back then as well. So, yeah, it's certainly worth another crack here at the bigger track.
All right, it's a good report for a Gallant Waking from the boys. Now, we've got a few 4-year-olds to look at here, so you can chat through this as you like. There's 3 pages of the 4-year-olds. Nick, we'll start with you. On that page, who are you focusing on at this stage?
Well, look, there's one in triple figures, obviously Keithy, very smart, but Packing Treadmill for me I think is a lovely horse, and he just continues to deliver. But there are some good horses on that list, Paul. Yeah,
I agree with you, those top 2. And look, history's proven you sort of need 100 to win the Derby, and Keithy's already got there as well. Tuchel's had some issues, so he needs to get back and get some points, but we know he's got plenty of ability as well. We'll see Majestic Colour, Sword Point will go round on, as well as Amazing Victory and Thesis will go round as well. Look, I liked Encountered win last start.
Yeah, he was good. Obviously, Gallant Waking on that list, and on that page, well, a real sort of standout possibly going forward is Nordic Dragon. He's 2 from 2, and there's a few names further down the list that certainly would need to improve, but they're a fair bunch, I think, and wouldn't shock to see some of those handicap marks be elevated as we work towards the series.
A number on that 3rd page are racing at this meeting as well. So that's a real focus on race number 8 and the 4-year-olds and where they rank currently. But who ranks as the lead pick in race number 8, Paul?
Well, I think Sweet Encounter is going to be odds on in this race, and he's going to be hard to beat. There's no question. If they leave Zach alone, he can win it. I'm going to go with Find My Love at a price, though. I think he's 37s at the moment. He's a really good each-way price. So Find My Love on top. I'll make him the each-way player of the meeting. A Sweet Encounter, obviously tough to beat. Viva Chaleur looked really good on his last start. And Gallant Waking coming to Sha Tin. Did run 4th at Sha Tin in one of his starts. 4, 1, 2 and 9.
Yeah, I'll go the toppy here, Sweet Encounter. Look, he's going to be a short price, granted, but I think he's the one to beat, and all what he's done in only 5 starts so far has been very impressive. So he'll go on top over Viva Chaleur, who I think is a definite improver going forward. He continues to step forward with every start here in Hong Kong. Majestic Colour gets a tongue-tie and Sha Tin going on. I think they're 2 positives, and his debut was good. And Bonza Perla, didn't want to leave her out on the back of what was a very eye-catching run there on her local debut. 1, 2, 7 and 5 for me.